Every summer, you build a master schedule, and every year, you make 3 decisions that guarantee your teacher teams will struggle, not because you're doing it wrong, but because the template you're working from was never designed for teams. If you caught my last video, you saw the research on what team-based teaching actually does to teacher turnover. Today, we're going to go one level deeper and talk about 3 specific decisions in your master schedule that either make teams possible or make them impossible. Teachers spend about 2% of their time in collaborative planning. That's roughly 45 minutes a week. Not because they don't want to collaborate, but because the schedule was never designed for it. Most master schedules encode 3 assumptions that make real teaming structurally impossible. Teachers own their own students. Planning time exists but is staggered, so the same team is never free at the same time. And every minute of the instructional day is pre-assigned, leaving no room to respond to what the data is actually telling you. Those assumptions aren't accidental. They're the 1893 model just rebuilt in a spreadsheet, and no amount of professional development, team norms, or PLC agendas overcomes a schedule that fights you every day. So if the schedule is the problem, here's the fix. 3 decisions. These decisions look a little different depending on whether you're elementary, middle, or high school, but the logic holds at every level. All right, let's walk through them. Decision 1, merge the roster. 3 5th grade teachers? That's not 3 groups of 25. That's one team sharing 75 students. That single move changes the collective stake every adult has in every child. At Smith Junior High in Mesa, Arizona, each core educator team shares a roster of about 150 students. Not separate classrooms, one team, one roster. That's what shared student looks like on paper. Decision 2, align the planning block. You already have the time, you're just not using it together. If teachers have 55-minute planning periods, shorten 4 days by 10 minutes. That gives you 40 banked minutes. Stack it into one day, and now you have a 95-minute collaborative block. Same contract hours, completely different function. Education Resource Strategies calls this banking time, and schools across the country are already doing it. That's what shared time looks like on paper. Decision 3, protect a flex block. This is the most important one. You may already have something like this on your schedule. An intervention period, an enrichment block, a win block. If you do, this is it. If you don't, build one somewhere in the team's shared instructional day. Protect a window, even 30, 45 minutes, where the team can regroup students dynamically based on what they learned that week. Not a fixed class, not a subject block. A window where the team decides together who needs what right now. This is the piece that makes the model responsive instead of just reorganized. Now, if you get these 3 right, everything else you're trying to do with teams actually starts working. Here's the reality. The schedule is the permission structure. If shared time and shared students aren't written into the schedule, then they're just aspirational. 3 decisions: merge the roster, align the planning block, protect the flex window. Before you go, if you want a tool that you can actually bring to your scheduling conversations this summer, I built a free resource called the Teaming Blueprint. It maps out the 4 structural shifts that make team-based teaching work, including the 2 that live directly on your master schedule. The link is in the description. And if you want to see what these 3 scheduling decisions actually look like in practice, that's exactly what the next video is going to cover. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.